Welcome back. This video is the second part to developing your guest ministry. If you have not seen the first video, I would encourage you to go back and see it because you will be missing some foundational concepts if you have not seen it. Today, the lesson is concrete and practical. This will make some of you so happy and others will think this is so tedious. We each have different gifts and angles at which we approach life. These gifts are from God to your church, and your hospitality ministry needs people of all these angles on it. Kairos will eventually be offering a full course on developing your guest ministry services. So what I will be talking about today is very abbreviated. You cannot develop all of this before Easter, which is only 2 weeks away, but you folks already have some guest services ministries happening, and it is our desire to offer enough ideas here that each of you, no matter where you are in your practice of hospitality, will be able to take one more piece that will fit who you are and where you are. I want to mention again 2 important ideas from the first video on hospitality. Number 1, your greeters and hosts always wear their name tags. This shows that everyone does not know everyone here, and it also identifies people who can help with whatever you as a guest need. Number 2 is 50% of your people are what I call semi-guests. I define a semi-guest as someone who seldom comes to Bible class, if you have Bible classes, or is not a part of a small group, attends worship once a month or so, and is seldom involved in any service or ministry of the church. These people will respond to hospitality so much. So remember, when we are talking about hospitality, we are talking not just about our guests, but remember your 50%. I thought you would enjoy seeing our welcome booth here at the Southwest Church. So here's our welcome sign. You can see it goes all the way to the ceiling, so you can see it from anywhere, because this lobby area sometimes gets full of people. So you want it to be high enough that they can tell from far away that that's what this is. Right here we have gift bags. I usually have 3 to 5 out here. Right here we have maps to our building. Our building is kind of a maze, and so maps are very important. And then we also have a group of adult Bible class lessons. These change every quarter, so we change these pamphlets. And on this side, we actually have a few bulletins here. We don't normally put bulletins here. If we do, it's very few, but this is not where people get their bulletins. They're given their bulletins when they come in the door, or your program, or whatever it is you're handing out. And then this right here, it's always good to have a Bible here. This is the Bible that we are actually working through right now. This is Genesis through Deuteronomy, and so we usually have these out. This is volume 2. Volume 1 we did last year, and it was on the Messiah, and so it was all the Gospels. And so we just have these here ready to give out if someone asks about them. So now I want to talk about the 5 parts to this lesson. What can we assume about people that are coming in our doors? What is on your welcome table? What goes into your gift bag? What is involved in follow-up? And always offer the next step. It's very important not to offer a lot of options. Sometimes we tend to do a smorgasbord. We want to have a small group list, a list of all the elders and deacons, a list of all of our ministries, a list of our overseas missionaries. It's not a bad thing to have those available, but you want to make the next step very evident. And that simplifies it. You do not want to overwhelm your guests. So just think, what is the one next step? So here are some of the assumptions that you should make for the people coming in your doors. They are seeking something. They may not know what it is. They probably cannot articulate what it is, but they are seeking something. They are curious. They're here. Something brought them here today. They are somewhat lost. Now this can be in relationship to being confused in their building, being confused of what kind of a church this is, or just simply lost in their life. But they are somewhat lost. And so hospitality is helping them to find their way. Also, they do not understand your church. That's a guarantee. Even if they're very church, they've been to church their whole life, but this is their first time here, they do not understand your church. You will do some things different that will be somewhat confusing to them. People seldom think about our churches. but God is thinking about them, and He is the one that brings them in. People's first impression is transferred to the whole church. So whatever that first impression is, the first time they visit, they will begin to define the whole church as being like that. And you can even go a step further in saying the impression that they get the first time they visit, they will, without intentionally thinking about it, that will impact their impression of who God is. And so guest services is so important. So what is on your welcome table? I've already kind of walked you through that. Our principles here are less is better. This is an approach appreciated by our younger generation. You will remember that our millennials test things out first by how it appears. Their testing goes from first, how do things look, then how do things sound, and then they will make their decision about listening or learning. They may not be the way we want them to be or how we believe it should be right, but it is the way they are. Their first impression is, are they intentional about what we are offering? Clean lines, simple text, good branding, consistency across make our materials seeable for the younger generations. And so we need to all be moving more toward this. So our Welcome Center is quite small. We do not stand behind it. Our person who mans this booth is out in front walking in this general area. They're welcoming people as they pass through, and they always wear their name tag. So I've already talked about what's on the visitor, the guest booth behind me, and so now I'm going to talk about what is in our gift bag. So I encourage you to really make the gift bag yours. Every community is unique, and the gift bag should reflect this, such as if you're located in Seattle, coffee would be good to appear in your bag in some way. If you're in a rural setting where there's a lot of women that still do a lot of cooking, perhaps it would be appropriate to have a small loaf of banana bread as a gift. I will admit that when we visit a church, the banana bread is always what I am hoping for. My impression is always better if they actually put nuts in that bread also. I feel like whoever made this bread went a little extra just for me. So in our bags, we have white tissue paper. It makes it look nice. And then the first piece that I'm going to pull out is our information piece. We have them pulled together in a ribbon because it has to do with, we want it to look nice. We want it to be informative, that we prepared this in an intentional way. So this is our grouping of informative material. So the first piece is a message from our preacher. The second piece is a message that just gives information about our children's ministry and who they can contact if they have questions. The third piece is from our campus ministry. This is our community piece because we have a very active campus ministry. The university is an important part of our town. And the last piece tells about our counseling center that is here on site. And then if you dig a little deeper in our gift bag, you will pull out a branded coffee mug. We intentionally wrap it in brown thick paper for cushioning. We want them to know that we care about them. And there's the brand. Inside the mug is a pen that is also branded with our logo. And the special treat, we have hugs and kisses that are in this bag and pulled tight and packed with care and love. So the last piece in our gift bag is the questionnaire. This is their next step. So when they leave here, they have their one next step right there in their hand. And we include a pre-addressed and stamped envelope for them to send their questionnaire back because we value their input. So the questionnaire is again branded. It's just 4 simple questions. And this questionnaire is downloadable for you to see our questionnaire. There are many examples out there. And so then again at the bottom, we ask for their name and their address, their phone number, and their email. It's just another opportunity for us to ask them to come a step deeper. And then at the bottom, this is signed by the hospitality committee, the 4 of us that lead it, and it says, "Enjoy your chocolate." And this is very important. This is, again, a show of cohesiveness and intentionality in what we're putting together in the bag. You don't want the bag to look like you just went through your church building and said, oh, we can give them one of these, we can give them one of these, we can give them one of these. We want it to show forethought, intentionality, and cohesiveness. So the questionnaire is the next step. Even if they don't pick up a bag, or if we know if they picked up a bag, if they sign our Connect card and have the email address on it, then we send them this electronically. So this is the important next step. It pulls them in. So here are some principles I believe will be helpful for you. Simple and less is better. Cohesiveness and intentionality should be evident. The time involved in putting the bag together shows a value of them as guests. And our bags cost about $7.25. So it's not too little, it's not too much, but it shows love and concern. So when you put these bags, where you put these bags can be quite a challenge. Our church has 10 entry points, but most churches have one main entry. And so that's where your bags go. And your hosts and hostesses in your auditorium, if you happen to have a large auditorium with a lot of people, we tend to have our hosts and hostesses in the sections actually have the guest bags there with them, because they are going to be most likely the ones that truly identify the guest. If you do have just one main door, you can funnel everyone easily by your welcome booth. So the fourth part of developing your guest ministry is what is involved in follow-up. So I am taking these ideas directly from John Reed. John is a minister at the Hilltop Community Church of Christ in El Segundo, California. John has developed a weekend seminar for churches on training their people for guest services. It is excellent. So he suggests these 4 steps to you as part of your follow-up process. And you need to pick and choose which ones fit you. Number 1 is acknowledgement. This is for your first-time guests. Call within 24 hours. Ask for their opinion. That's what the questionnaire is about. A thank you letter within 2 days, and place them on a mailing list, and then invite them to return. Always invite them to return. Step 2 is enhancement. This is for second-time guests. So mail or deliver some sort of an edible gift. We deliver cupcakes from a bakery of one of our church members here in town. If you take these to their home, be sure not to go in. It is just a drop-off. Thank you for coming and hope you'll come again. Ask about their needs or interests, and then you mail a special thank you card again for their second visit. Step number 3 in the follow-up process is an appointment. So call and ask about their interests and needs. Send a special brochure about signature ministries, small groups, and other ministries and services, and then you invite them to meet your ministers. This is like a 9.5-minute meeting after services once a month. And then number 4, commitment. This is their 3rd visit or after that. Invite them to attend a newcomers class or a luncheon, permission to place their contact information in the directory, an annual welcome banquet, and this should be the best event of the year, and this event needs to be well attended by your leadership. We have found our guests often visit 3 times before they ever complete a Connect card. Our community here highly values its anonymity. So when guests do decide to fill in a card for the first time, this is a big step, and we need to value this step on their part. So whatever information they give us, we work with that. If they give us their email, we will send a copy of the questionnaire when we send them their first welcome letter. If they give us only their phone number, then we'll give them a call, but it's still the same next step. We ask if we can send them a questionnaire. Our job is to continue to offer a next step. Now, if they ask for something different, we certainly follow that, but we want them to do the questionnaire. God is wooing them to Himself. Let us be a part of what He is doing. So action items for this week: pray about what you individually can do differently to be more hospitable this coming Sunday. Share this information with one other person and ask them to implement one new thing for Easter. After Easter, have a meeting with people on your hospitality group and talk about follow-up and implement a plan. I am eagerly anticipating great things from Easter season. We will never know all that God does this Easter season and following, but I pray He will reveal some of it to us. May you be blessed today. Thank you.